northern Spain. And when I say small, I mean so small that they don't have an airport, a train station, only buses, and they only stay within the same region. So, as a California girl, I'm used to the warm weather all year long, but it was very cold for me in December. So I decided to take a 3-hour train ride to a bigger city where there's an airport I could fly out to one of the Spanish islands, Tenerife. After that long train ride, I finally made it to Bilbao, and I decided I'm really hungry, so I'm gonna stop. I haven't had some food like this in a while. In my little town, it's mostly just Spanish food, so I was really enjoying myself getting some sushi. This is Bilbao, a city in northern Spain, and I love the architecture here. It's so beautiful. And this was during Christmas time, so they had their Christmas trees and decorations, and it just looks so pretty. My flight was early the next day, so I decided to walk to my hostel, explore the city a little bit, and it took me forever because these stairs, it was about a 350-foot climb, it said, according to the maps. But when I finally made it to the top, the view was so beautiful, and I got to see this beautiful church and hear its bells ringing. At this point, I was nervous because it was my first time staying at a hostel, and I didn't know what to expect, but all in all, it was a great experience. This was the next day after riding the metro, going to the airport, and wow, this was the smallest airport I have ever been to, and the easiest TSA situation I have ever been through. I didn't even have to take off my shoes, and maybe if you're from Europe that's not a big deal, but in the States we have to take off our shoes all the time, every time. So it was a cool experience to do that. Also, my first time being dropped off on the tarmac and taking a bus to the airport, so that was kind of cool. I finally made it to Tenerife, but my journey was not done yet. I arrived in the north airport of Tenerife and my hostel was in the south, so I still needed to take an hour bus ride. I made it to the hostel and they offered so many things, but my favorite part was this view. I mean, look at it. I was in awe. After washing up and getting ready for the night, your girl was hungry, and it was the easiest decision choosing where to eat because I saw the waiter there and I said, I don't care what kind of food they have, I'm going there no matter what. Turns out the food was actually really good, and let me tell you, the wine was good too, because after a couple of glasses I was feeling bold enough to go out with this guy when he asked me, and he ended up driving me around for 30 minutes showing me the town. It was great because I honestly wouldn't have seen these places without, having a car, but it was fun. We had good conversation. I woke up the next morning to this beautiful view and went and got some breakfast, and then I got ready to hop on a bus to meet one of my friends that I met through this app called Trip BFF, which is a solo traveler app, and she took me to this beautiful beach and we had a good time. She's my partner in crime, helping me take photos, and the water was freezing. Okay, here she is, the lovely Natasha, and we walked around for 3 hours seeing all the beautiful sights. We got some McDonald's. I was told I need to try it. It was my first time trying it in Spain, and it was really good.
Yep.
Yeah? What do you think?
Love it.
Is it good?
So good. This is a biscotti McFlurry. We don't have that in the States, or at least not to my knowledge. I don't know.
Amazing.
After the McDonald's, we kept walking, and I almost forgot it was Christmas time because it was warm, tropical, definitely different than what I was used to in northern Spain. We had some wine, enjoyed ourselves a little bit of gelato, and we ended the day. None of the places were open to dance, so I was just here doing that. And the next day we went to the north of Tenerife and we explored. They were having a little carnival later. She showed me some of her favorite places. There was a beautiful black sand beach. This day it was too cold. We said, we're not going in the water. We're just gonna explore. And she took me to this beautiful area that only really locals know about. and it was so beautiful, and it kind of reminded me of my home, San Diego, and Sunset Cliffs. We definitely did not walk around as much as the day before, but we did explore a lot, and we ended up going and getting some food at this cute little place. And I think he was the owner of the restaurant. It was so nice. We talked about different kinds of music in Mexico, and it was really good. After that, we made friends with this musician, Alex. I sang a song with him, and we listened to him play music and enjoyed the sunset at the beach. It was such a beautiful moment. And we went to the port. I saw, from far away, this looked like it was like a hotel, and then we got closer and I was like, oh, that's actually a ship. Cool. And this was the type of ferry I was gonna go on the next day. This was the next day, me leaving the hostel, making my way over to the port to get on the ferry. Made it to the ferry. I spent 3 days in Tenerife, and I was on my way to La Palma, the next island. And as someone who is seasick, maybe this wasn't a smart idea, but I did get my Dramamine and my motion sickness medicine. I almost forgot, because this was a 2-hour boat ride. But this ferry was huge, so big, and I was like, let me get a little food in my system. We'll get ready for this ride. I was pretty tired because I didn't get a lot of sleep that night, but I made it, and I was feeling well enough to go look at the water. I had been on a cruise before and got very sick, so this time it was so much better, and I can see La Palma in the distance, and finally made it. Here it is, and La Palma is so beautiful. Part 2 next.